Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Total Football with SportsAdda. Today, I have with me our, familiar face here, Siddharth, and someone relatively new who is a crazy English fan who is amidst us. It's Dhruv. So, welcome, Dhruv. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Yash. Nice to meet you, Siddharth.
Hmm. Fantastic. Sid, what are your thoughts on yesterday's game? Straight up, I want to ask you, what was your thinking of the first game that took place, and do you think the results were shocking or pretty much what you expected it to be?
Pretty much what I expected. The Spanish team to be attacking. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
yesterday their attack didn't work out. They had a lot of shots on target, but Jan Sommer was in incredible form. He saved 10 shots on target, which in
Yes.
itself was a record yesterday. But going through the game, the Spanish side didn't score a goal. They, unfortunately for the Swiss side, conceded an own goal very early on, and Bolo getting injured off a red card as well. But they
Yeah.
were absolutely resolute in defense and went and attacked as well with Shaqiri getting that crucial goal, taking it into extra time. But I was extremely disappointed yesterday with the Swiss sides and the penalty takers. Maybe you could say they brought in a lot of defenders to shore up the defense. But at this stage, you expect everyone to convert, especially after their performance against France. And again, Sommer stepping up, saving a penalty, Busquets missing the first one, hitting the post. I did think they had an advantage, but they just didn't capitalize.
Yeah, the nerves took the better of them. So, Dhruv, do you think, like me and Siddharth have been speaking of this for the whole time now, that this tournament has been an own goal special tournament? Because another own goal when Spain plays, so it's just destiny. Do you think, Dhruv?
I think you've spoken about it. I think destiny does play a part. Two games where own goals have been the decider, changed Spain's fate.
Yeah.
Won't take it away from Spain. They have done their best. They have scored 5 goals in the game before the last game they played.
Yeah.
Adding to Siddharth's point on the last night's match, the own goal, the red card, credit to Switzerland. Even after that, they had the confidence to
Yeah.
continue and make it to the penalties. But I think
Absolutely.
penalty shot is all about the team holding the nerve, and they
Exactly.
lack confidence over there. You could see it in each and every penalty kick that took place.
Yes. Yes. And surprisingly, they did pretty well against France. And now when they came against Spain, I think that, yeah, like you said, the nerves and the temperament, like we speak of in the big games, that's what took over. So that was that from the first game. But the second game, Italy versus Belgium. Siddharth, firstly, what are your views on this game? And very disappointed that Belgium lost, but it's kind of bittersweet. It's okay because Italians are a good side. They've played very well throughout the knockout, the qualification, now the leagues. So, what are your thoughts on this game? And were you surprised at all with the result?
I was a bit surprised, but not too surprised because if you remember at the start of the tournament when we were discussing all the teams, I did say Italy was one of my favorites to win the tournament.
Yeah.
Belgium were, obviously credible title contenders because they are, the number one ranked team in the world. But their inexperience and their ability to get through in these crucial times have been lacking.
Yeah.
They are in a golden generation. They've gotten Doku who played extremely well yesterday, in place of Hazard. But they just couldn't get through. Again, another point that we discussed yesterday was Kileni and Bonucci keeping Lukaku quiet. He did have some whiffs on goal, but the only goal he could score was that
The
penalty.
penalty.
They did keep him quiet, and the Italians did, for all credit to them, take their chances. Insigne with a lovely goal, to win the match.
Yeah. Yeah. Dhruv, the same question for you. You think you were a bit surprised by the result, or it was pretty much expected on your end? Because Italians, like we spoke yesterday, the Italians are a good defensive unit, and the Belgians are known for their attacking prowess. The Lukaku, the Hazards, the KDBs. So you think it was a bit surprising to see this contrasting result?
I'm not too surprised on the result. I expected an Italy win, like you said, like you
Yeah.
mentioned, we discussed yesterday. I think what matters in such games is you have to take your chances. Like you have to convert your chances.
Yeah.
The number of
Very
chances Lukaku got, I think he should have converted, and then we could have assumed that the result would have been the other way around. But I mean, Italy, they've the space Insigne got multiple times. Alderweireld was nowhere. So many defensive errors. the goal itself, it's in at so much time. He took that right beautiful cut, so much time and space to measure the goal, and it was a beautiful goal.
You
So that's about it.
absolutely, Dhruv. And you speak of the goal, you cannot not talk about the first goal that was scored. Nico Barella, the way he scored that goal, it looked pretty easy when you look it on camera, but it was really intense. And the way he, tackled those two defenders, it was amazing. And that goal was really one of the best goals that I have seen so far in the tournament. Speaking of, against the run of play, because it was an Italian dominated game, but Belgium were waiting on the counter the whole time. They took the attack, and a couple of great saves from Donnarumma in the first half, if I'm not wrong. So it was a neck and neck contest, but in the end, the better side, the more composed and more complete side won the game. And coming to the first game today, we need to move, and it's Czech Republic versus Denmark. So, Dhruv, Czech Republic versus Denmark. Firstly, who do you think, looking at this whole, the way the Euros have panned out, who do you think is more favorite to get the better of the other team in this particular contest?
I think earlier I would have honestly said Czech Republic because the way they started vis-a-vis the way Denmark started. But I think last few matches Denmark have really impressed me, and now I think change my stance to Denmark would probably be come victorious from this game. So that's my opinion.
Fantastic. And Sid, you think that this Czech Republic side, like we spoke about, they've had the likes of Milan Baros and the big players, PATRIK, and all these players have played for this side. Thomas Rosicky was one of them. So this Czech Republic side has got the history. Okay, in the Euros, they've got the better of the Denmark side twice, if I'm not wrong, in the Euros. And PATRIK Schick is in fantastic form. You think Czech Republic are the underdogs here, and this tournament is known to be surprising one, and the underdogs have always come out victorious. So you think that Czech Republic have got in them when it comes to the playing against the run of play, like the counter-attacking football Czech have played? You think it will be effective in today's game?
It should be, because we have to see how they set up both these teams. The Danish side, I think, will go with the back three again to be a little more defensively sound. But PATRIK Schick is known to get past these defenders and get his shots on goal. So we'll have to see how Schmeichel, compensates and is able to cope up with this barrage of attacks. But if you see the Danish side as well, they're extremely attacking. They actually set a record recently. Before the Spanish side scored 5 goals in continuous matches, the Danish were the ones who set a record of scoring 4 or more goals in 2 continuous matches in the Euros.
Wow.
So an extremely attacking side, and they've grown into this tournament after their start. But if you actually see the Czech side, as you rightly mentioned, in the Euros they've met twice, and both times it's gone to the Czech Republic. And actually, the last time they won was, I think, the 2004 Euros, and it was the quarterfinals again over there.
Yes, correct.
So a little bit of history over there. But, as we've seen in this tournament, history has nothing to do with it. Whichever team plays better on the day does go through.
Yes, that's true. So, Dhruv, you spoke of Denmark, and you said that, Denmark is more favorable to come out victorious in this game because of the way the football that they're playing. So, how important is HOJBJERG in the middle? Because he's a workhorse. Okay, he's given 3 or 4 assists already in the tournament, and he's not the captain, but he's someone who is a captain figure, their leading figure. So you think his importance today will be tested, and he will be a player who will be the most impactful player today when it comes to the Danish side?
Definitely. I mean, considering the position he plays, one wouldn't expect him to give those number of assists. And now, with Eriksen not being part of the squad anymore, the pressures come onto him, and he stepped up. The stats speak, do all the talking. And I think, yes, he is going to be instrumental because the Danish attack, like Siddharth said, is very strong. They changed their team structure a bit. They got Dolberg in. He scored a couple of goals for them. They have Braithwaite and Poulsen. So yes, all HOJBJERG has to do provide a good service, and I think that will do justice to Denmark's strategy today.
Correct. That's so true. So I just wanted to know both of you, starting with Sid. That's it. Do you think that the Danish side has got the defensive composure to keep Patrick Schick quiet, because Patrick Schick is on some other level today because he scored 4 goals already. He's equaled Milan Baros's record of 4 goals in the Euros. I think 5
Yeah.
is the record, and he had got a golden
Record.
boot in the Euros once, in the 2004 Euros, if I'm not wrong. So he could be the second Czech player after him. But what I'm talking about is the current form that he's in. He's young, he's quick, he's got those skills, and he's scored some outrageous goals. So you think the Danish defense has got that composure to keep this man quiet?
Well, we'll have to see how the Danish set up. As I said, I think they're going to revert to the back three, and depend on the wing backs. But when it's the back three, okay, Kerr is the center of defense, and he was an injury concern in the last match, going off just after halftime, if I'm not wrong.
Correct.
So it'll be interesting to see whether he starts. I think he's been training well, so he should merit a start. But his partner Christensen has been in impeccable form as well. He has been defensively sound, been putting in those hard tackles when required. And even before them, they have two extremely good and adept CDMs in HOJBJERG and Delaney. Delaney has been doing it day in, day out for Borussia Dortmund. And, as we know, HOJBJERG doing it for Southampton and then Tottenham as well. And his grassroots at Bayern Munich are, no one can compare that. Bayern Munich's academy is world famous. So Patrick Schick, though he has the skills, has a lot of tasks to get through to goal. So he has to get through the HOJBJERGs and the Kerrs before he can even test Michael.
So I think he is the player to watch out for today if you talk about Patrick Schick, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He has scored the goals. He has it in him.
Absolutely, Sid. And the way he scored the goals is what I was coming to. That he's taken the defense off guard. He's caught them off guard whenever he's got the chance, the 50-50 chance, and he's converted it. So finally, I would like to ask, Dhruv, what's your prediction for today's game and why, especially?
I think it's not going to be a clean sheet for sure. I feel it's going to be a Denmark 2-1 is what I feel. Like we've spoken about Patrick Schick, I think he's going to get 1 goal for sure.
Wow, it's a good prediction there. And similarly, Sid, you agree with him or you think otherwise?
No, I agree with him. I think the Danish are better coming into this game. They have the confidence of scoring many goals and being defensively sound as well. But I agree with Dhruv. I think they will. It's not going to be a clean sheet for either team, but a 2-1 win for the Danes from me as well.
Wow. Come on, man. You'll have to give a conflict of interest, yaar. How will we enjoy the show then? Now moving on to the second game. Okay, so that was a prediction from our experts. Okay, 2-1. Both of them are agreeing to it. Probably it could be a goal fest, but it's a Denmark win for both our experts. Now coming to the second game, it's England versus Ukraine. Dhruv, stop smiling. Okay, it's England versus Ukraine. So firstly, Dhruv, English fan, it's coming home. Is it really coming home? Because they are failing to score goals until the last game. They have failed to score a lot of goals in the first 3 games of the group stages. Now they finally have found the recipe, or I don't know what do you say, to crack it, and they've scored a couple of goals against Germany and kept a clean sheet. 4 clean sheets. They've equaled the all-time record of Euros with Germany in the 2016 Euros. So you think that this English side, although they are fairly inexperienced, young faces, all only Premier League, bunch of players, 25 and younger. So you think that they've got what it takes to reach the finals and then eventually, win it?
Honestly, because the last time England was part of such a large tournament, let's take the FIFA World Cup into consideration, right?
Yeah.
They reached the semis, okay? And I honestly think the English team this side is far superior compared to the lineup they put up for the World Cup.
Wow.
And
okay.
You can see the results. Like, people forget that football is not just about attack, it's also about defense. Like you mentioned, all games clean sheet in this tournament, right? And I think that's something they are going to capitalize on, because the formation they play, right? 4 at the back, 2 defensive midfielders. So it's actually 6 defensive players, and the clean sheets do all the talking.
Absolutely. You're right. You're absolutely right about it. But similarly, Sid, when you speak of the English defense, you speak of, Harry Maguire, you speak of, all these players. But you need to mention, Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice. They are the unsung heroes of this, English lineup. Because last game also they cover box to box. Okay, they run everywhere. You've got a Mason Mount on the bench. So you think it becomes easier for someone like Sterling or a Grealish when they come onto the field to not focus as much on the defensive part, knowing that people like Calvin Phillips, the Maguires and Declan Rice are out there to cover you from the back?
No, I don't think it is an absolute cushion and makes them disregard their duties, because you have to take your defensive responsibilities very seriously. Because while they are being defensive, they are extremely adept at it. Okay, it is not a 6 versus 11 game. If you're just going to sit and attack, okay, they are going to be attack. What will your defense do? Because they are going to be 11 people attacking. Yes, Italy did use this tactic with Roberto Baggio, where 10 people sat back and he was the only man forward. But it's not something that will work against these modern teams. They are going to be extremely attacking. And with the Ukrainian team, the attacking talent that they have. And yes, you rightly said Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips have been phenomenal in this tournament. Both of them have been keeping out the English captain, Jordan Henderson. So that's all credit to them, that the defensive soundness, the midfield solidarity is there. They are able to keep out a very experienced player. But that doesn't give the right to their attackers to not do their defensive duties.
Correct. So, I wanted to ask Dhruv this. Dhruv, if you look at the history between these two teams, okay, around 7 games have been played. Ukraine have had the upper hand on 4 occasions, okay. So, England are the second choice of the head-to-head if you have to compare it. Do you think these stats will matter in today's game? Because England, in the form that they are in, it's the best chance for them to ever reach a final. With the draw that they've got, they're lucky to be on the right side of the page, if you may say that way. But you think that because of that, it's a bit, it plays you mentally when you play a draw where you've lost 4 games in the history of head-to-head battles, or won't it matter on this day?
Look, I mean, I know this may sound as a personal bias towards England, but we also have to look at the magnitude of the competition, right? It's the Euros. It's not any other game. So, and that matters. England, they are the bigger name on paper, so they have the skill set to take the pressure of the magnitude of the tournament. They've done so well. You have to see the form recency also. Whereas for Ukraine, it's been topsy-turvy. The English side has been consistent in their performance. So I think we shouldn't look too much into the past and the history, because that is not going to determine the result of today's game.
True. Very well said by the English fan out there. The true, what do you call that? The English positivity coming out from you for the English side. So that's fair to say, because in today's game, me and Sid also talk about this, that the day matters. It doesn't matter what the history is. There have been teams like Switzerland and France. France had always beaten Switzerland in all the ties, but on the day Switzerland played better and they came out victorious. Similarly, speaking of the Ukrainians here, for one, they've got Yarmolenko, who's in excellent form. He's the most capped player now in the current lot, and he's been playing brilliantly. So you think this is the Andriy Shevchenko effect on him, and he's been stepping up a notch, Sid?
Absolutely. So he's got the guidance of their coach, and obviously a Ukrainian legend, Andriy Shevchenko. And don't disregard his striking partner, Yarmolenko. He's also been in excellent form. They have been a lethal, attacking force, the Ukrainians. Yeah. Okay, and I do believe they will take the game to the English side, because attacking wise they are extremely adept, and they do have a lot of talent within them. If I look at Kufal, who's going to be putting in crosses from the right, Soucek, Kalas in the middle of midfield, they have a lot of attacking talent. Oh, sorry, yeah, correct. I confused them.
Makes the team.
Yeah. Sorry. So
you do that again?
Yeah, so you have Zinchenko, you've got you've got players like them who can back them. And plus, in the last game against Sweden, they were the second favourites to win it, to be very honest to you, because of the fact that Sweden had played better football. So you think that, players like Yarmolenko, and the player to watch out for sure has to be Zinchenko with the game that he had, a goal and an assist in the last game for him. You think that these two, or a couple of more players like you mentioned, will have to step up, and today is the day when they will be actually tested against one of the better sides and one of the best sides in the world?
Absolutely. And it'll be a lot on the English side's setup because I
Right.
do think they'll revert to a back four again. And they do have Mason Mount and Chilwell who are back from their isolation. So
Correct.
I don't think Chilwell will be able to display Shaw. He's been extremely good at the left back position, and I think Dhruv will agree with me over there. But with regards to Mason Mount, whether to get him in should because there will be an extra attacker coming in now, or should it be Grealish? Because both games that he's come in, he's been phenomenal. He's changed the game on its head. But maybe if what I've heard from the English camp is that Bukayo Saka is an injury concern. He received a knock in training.
Yeah,
So
he
if
did.
he's not able to start, will Grealish start off on the right and Mason Mount center? We'll have to see how Southgate sets up because, as we know, he does not listen to pressure from the outside opinions of who to start, who not to start. So we'll see what happens over there.
Dhruv, speaking of Gareth Southgate, he's someone who is known to do something out of the box all the time because of the fact that, firstly, when he chose Ben White as a, we know him and in Brighton, he's a right back. When he already had 3 or 4 good right backs in contention, he got a Ben White in. So you think that this guy is a no-nonsense coach, something you can call him unconventional of sorts. You think that today is the day where Jack Grealish could get a start and finally you could see a Jack Grealish be a regular in this English side?
Honestly, what I thought of Southgate, that everyone thought that Grealish will play, considering his Premier League stats, he's the most foul player in the Premier League, right? So
Yeah,
everyone thought what he's done for England, everyone thought. But credit actually goes to Southgate. What he's actually done, he's, like you said, he's no nonsense. He's also good people's person. So no one takes offense of that, they're not starting. What he's beautifully done, so that oppositions don't have a sense, because oppositions do end up reading teams and trying to gauge what they'll play. He's made,
correct.
for every game, he's made certain changes. You had Foden play the first game, then you had suddenly had Saka come in, then in
Yeah,
the middle he got Jude Bellingham for a few minutes. So he's revolved even the defense. They started with Mings, went to Maguire. So, like you said, he's the no-nonsense person, but at the same time, a good people's person. So he knows. And I think what he's done beautifully with Grealish is not revealed Grealish's strength in the start, tired the opponents out, then got
correct.
Grealish on fresh legs. He can
Fresh legs.
maximize the potential, and you saw the result against Germany.
That's actually well put up, Dhruv, because I never thought of it that way. I was always thinking, I was contemplating the fact that why isn't Grealish starting? Why isn't Jadon Sancho starting? But, now the fact that if you come to today, today's date, Harry Kane finally has got that goal that he needed at the international level. He's got that after 12 or 13 games, if I'm not wrong. Me and Sid used to discuss this over and over that it is high time that you either drop him or either do something about it because he needs to get that goal under his belt. So Sid, finally, him getting a goal, you think it will boost a lot of confidence to him, and also his attacking partner Raheem Sterling was got already 3 goals in the tournament. You think that these two are a good duo, and today could be the day where they could really, shine and make sure that they get a lot more confidence against Ukraine.
Absolutely. Harry Kane has a lot of thanking to do to Raheem Sterling because
Yeah.
he picked up the scoring burden in his absence. But,
Yes.
credit to Southgate for sticking to Harry Kane. He finally got his goal. And, hopefully, from an English fan's perspective, he can push on from here and, bring it home finally.
Finally, English fan. He's already smiling. Okay, I'm just from the corner of my eye, I'm always checking out at Dhruv, and he's always smiling because he's really happy with the fixtures, I suppose, and he's really happy with the fact that the way England are playing, it could finally come home. So, Dhruv, wasting no time, I want to ask you first. What is your prediction for today? Okay, just tell me the score. I know it's England, but by how many goals and who will score the goal? That is what I want to know from an English fan first.
I think it's going to be. I mean, I want to say. I think it'll be a 2-0 win for England once again, and Kane and Sterling are my two goal scorers for this game.
Fantastic.
Uh, I think if Grealish comes on in the second half, I'm not. I don't think see him start this game again. He'll be very influential in both the plays and the goal goes.
Just like
Actually add
something.
one more. I'll also add
Yeah.
one more point. I don't know if anyone's observed this. This is one game for England to just go through because the semis and the final are both at Wembley, London. So it's for
Yeah.
us to it's the favors in us. We just have to pass this game and there could be a little bit less pressure.
Correct. You're right. You're right about it because the home advantage obviously, gets the. You saw against Germany, the fans and the support that they got was phenomenal. Okay, the Germans, a better side, a more well organized unit, everything said and done. But the home advantage is certainly there. Okay, because in the COVID lockdown and all of that, the gates were closed, the people were not allowed in the stands, so it never affected the Premier League of sorts. But here it is something different, and you're absolutely right when you say that. So one game for England. It's a 2-0 prediction from Dhruv. Siddharth, please say Ukraine so I can have a little spice out here.
Obviously, I am going to go and give you your wish. I actually think Ukraine has it in them today. But, as Dhruv said, a slight advantage for the English, or a disadvantage in this case, because till now they've only had games at Wembley, and the next, if they go through again, it's Wembley for them, home advantage.
Correct.
But will that affect them? Have they gotten used to a certain kind of pitch? Is something that we'll have to see. That can be detrimental, that you're extremely used to something, and that it'll affect the game ever so slightly, and that might be the difference between a win and loss. But I think what is more important is Ukraine's resolve to go past the quarterfinals, and they do have it in them from the attacking standpoint, and Zinchenko does have that experience. He was the first one to take them to the quarterfinals and pass the quarterfinals in the World Cup, and now this is what they'll want to do again: go get past the quarters and probably try and go one step further to the final and maybe win it as well. Correct. But I think this will be a test for the English defense today. Yes, the Germans were a test as well. They had set up as a 3-5-2 formation, if I'm not wrong, at that time, or 3 in the defense at least. But today, I think he'll revert back to a back 4, and the attacking prowess of the Ukrainians might, cost them. It might cost them. And Yarmolenko, probably amongst the goals, 2-1 win for the Ukrainians is what I say.
Wow, I think 2% people would agree. Okay, only in the whole world with your prediction, but certainly Dhruv will disagree with you, and that's fantastic because 2 experts having different opinions. I love it. Okay, so me being the host here, I'm gonna enjoy this little banter that you're having, and that's it for today. Thank you for joining with me, Dhruv. It was fantastic to have you on the show for the first time, and you gave us some really good, good fanboy moments as an English fan. And Sid, as always, with the stats and with the predictions. So I will see you soon. I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck for you, Dhruv. Good luck to England. And hopefully, let's hope it's coming home. It's coming.
It's truly coming home. Thanks, Yash, for having me on the show. Thanks, Siddharth.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys.
See you.